All right, B, you ready for this one?
Let's do it.
I'm ready for this one. This guy says, Bedros, according to you, it costs $18,000 to be a man. No thanks. What do you say to these people, man?
So I'm guessing this dude who said, according to me, it cost $18,000 to be a man. First off, I would like to ask him if he could show me exactly where I said it cost $18,000 to be a man. The project cost $18,000. It cost absolutely $0 to be a man, by the way, right? Oh. Because you can just live like a man, do what a man does, adopt your core values, have your ethos, have your integrity, have your character, hopefully get raised by a good set of mom and dad. And if you don't, then you got maybe great uncles or mentors around you. But the project doesn't charge you $18,000 to be a man. You were born a man and you can become a better man. You can become a good man and a great man on your own. The project allows you to break through the seals in life. Like, we deal with people at the project who come with trauma, limiting beliefs, who have maybe encountered trauma that has caused self-sabotage in their life, that they won't go to a therapist, that they won't work through it on their own, but they realize that they are willing to go through an experience that's 75 hours long that will help them dig deep and unpack their trauma, that will help them figure out how to break through all the limiting beliefs in their faith, in their family, in their fitness, in their finance, and have a life of fulfillment. The project is beyond the 75 hours, though, because the guys that graduate are part of a very special brotherhood. And when they pay that $18,000, it's not just the 75 hours of beatdown that people see on social media. Look, it's sexy to put video out there of Ray and Steve going off at guys and what looks like they're insulting them and punishing them and pounding them into the ground, whether it's through the ice bath or the ocean or pulling trucks or crawling through the pit or throwing shit. What they don't see is the deep emotional work that happens during all the teaching time. Because you can't take any human, you can't take a Navy SEAL and pound them in the ground for 75 hours. Like, no one's going to survive that. So during the 75 hours, probably about 20 hours of it are very physical. The rest of it is there's time to eat, there's time to sleep, there's time to use the shitter, there's time to educate on life structure, on what does dating your wife looks like, what does rehealing your marriage look like, what does actually finding a vocation that you're passionate about, how do you rekindle your purpose in life, how do you actually break through the traumas that you've experienced. We have men that have come through that have been sexually abused, like I was, physically abused. Hell, a third of the men that come from into the project are dudes that either are firefighters, law enforcement, or former military. And that's because they've experienced something in military as a firefighter or as a cop. One police officer, in fact, told me, he's like, look, man, if I went and talked to the psychologist for the department, they might decide based on what I say that I'm not fit to be in a patrol car, and they'll put me on desk duty. But I got this thing that's keeping me awake at night, that's giving me PTSD. And I'm not saying we solve that stuff. I'm saying that they trust us in that environment to allow them to journal and talk about, where then there's enough rapport built between me and the other instructors and the candidates that come through, where we're like, hey, bro, that does sound like PTSD. Maybe I can refer you to a psychologist that's not in your department, like Kevin, my therapist, right? Maybe I can hook you up with someone who can help you through this area of your life that you're stuck because you're gambling, or you've got a vice or an addiction that you don't want your family to know about because it's embarrassing, or you don't want your work to know about because you might lose your career. Like, the project is to help men who are suffering in silence and white knuckling through life know that they have greater purpose. It is to help them break through all the limiting beliefs, all the self-sabotage, all the addictions to become the greater self that they want to be. It then continues on beyond the 75 hours into 12 months of masterminding, because once we build that momentum during the 75 hours of the project, the Crucible, beyond that graduation day, it's 12 months of coaching that's included. They come right here to HQ, right in a group environment. In fact, we're actually going to do this in 2 more days. We're going to have the project mastermind. And they come for 2 days, and we pour into these men, teach them in business, money, meaning, personal development, fitness. There's an accountability component. There's a brotherhood component. And that is what people don't see on social media. All they see is an $18,000 price tag for what they think is 75 hours, but it's actually 75 hours plus 12 months of coaching and mentorship and brotherhood that's included. And what they don't see, and they go, well, you could actually go into the military and do boot camp and they would pay you for it. Well, duh. But I don't think in military boot camp, and I've never been into the military, so I can't speak for it, but thankfully we've got a Marine and a Navy SEAL who have been in the military, and they could speak for this with irrefutable fact that no military boot camp out there is going to help you overcome your trauma, is going to create any sense of experience for you to, hey, here's how you manage your relationship. Here's how you show up as a better dad to your daughter. Here's how you show up as a better father to your son. Here's how you actually date your wife again. Here's the life structure to overcome your addictions, whether it's gambling, pornography, alcohol, weed, like you name it, infidelity. Like, what do you do when you have these self-sabotaging vices that you want help for, but you're just white knuckling through life and you're like, I don't know what else is going to help me. I don't want to go see a therapist. I can't talk to the people at work. I don't want to talk to my wife about this. The alternative that most men think about is to just exit, to peace out. And we all know what word I'm talking about here, and I just can't say it here on the platform. And so when I talk to the men who have graduated the project and they tell me how the project has helped them to not peace out, to instead become their higher self, to embrace self-mastery, to understand that they are human, and to exercise grace for themselves, and to create a life structure that will help them overcome their vices and traumas and actually break through the seals and break through the self-sabotage and become the husband, the father, the entrepreneur, the leader that they're meant to be. That is meaningful work for me. But I understand on social media, it's easy for the loser keyboard jockeys who every single one of them, by the way, they don't have a profile picture. They don't have any fucking valuable stuff that they add in terms of content to social media to serve humanity. And when I reach out to them, because I reach out to, here's my challenge to every single one of those guys. I will pay you $18,000. You pay your 18 G's and go through the project. And when you come back out, graduated, I will pay your $18,000 back, and I will donate $18,000 to their favorite charity. Like, that is a standing promise. From now on, when someone thinks that the project is an $18,000 man camp, you fucking goofballs, I will challenge you by saying, pay the 18 G's and go through the project. If it doesn't change your life, I will give your 18 G's back to you, and I will pay $18,000 towards your favorite charity. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. These fucking losers on social media aren't. But God, one day, I want one of them to take that Pepsi challenge so that they can experience it for themselves. Not because of any other reason other than I want them to heal.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to hide behind your phone with your pants around your ankles, with Cheeto dust in your belly button, jacking off to OnlyFans while talking shit about the project, you fucks.
Oh, man. All right, I got to bring it back real quick. Playing devil's advocate. All that sounds amazing. You're helping change dudes' lives, improve their marriages, their relationship with their kids, their work ethic, whatever it is, right? But why $18,000? Why so expensive for the people? Because let's say they want to take that challenge. Yeah. Say, okay, cool. You're willing to give me the money back and this, right? And donate and all this stuff. I don't have $18,000.
Cool.
So what do you tell the people, as far as, because there's a lot of people in the comments. I actually had some guy on the phone. We were on a sales call, and he goes, the conversation was going well, right? And he was like, dude, I feel like I need to be here, whatever. We got to the price. And he was like, 18,000. And then his whole mood changed. This is a scam. I'll be sure to let you guys know my review online and whatever. And I was like, there's not really a place to put a review. Whatever, go ahead.
Go put a review somewhere.
Drop a comment like everybody else.
Yeah.
But anyways, what do you tell these people about, why is the project so expensive?
Well, like all things, there's a cost to pay to play. Like, when something is free, people don't value it. That's just how it is. There's a cost to pay to play. And believe it or not, $18,000 is actually very affordable when you consider the 75-hour experience, which, by the way, every class has about, you've been there, there are about 30 to 40 guys to a class. Every class costs us about $280,000 to run. because just liability insurance alone is $28,000 per class. Every instructor gets paid really well because they're experts. We have 2 full-time firefighter paramedics on staff the entire 75 hours. They each get paid really well because they're experts at what they do. They've both gone through the project and experienced it themselves, so they know what to look for in terms of rhabdo or injuries or whatever, right? Also, every one of the instructors are subject matter experts. They get paid well. We feed these guys well. We house them well. We have a great graduation dinner. We rent 4 vans and we take them all over. Right, from like we move people around. It doesn't just take place at the compound. When you add all that up, and then the marketing costs of like to be able to market. When you see that ad on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, that ad didn't just magically show up. I had to pay money. What people don't realize is of the $18,000 that they pay, it cost me about $4,000 to acquire a new candidate. Right, so really, it's like 14 grand that they're paying. And that 14 grand covers the cost of the operation. Of the 16 project classes that we've run so far, only 1 has been profitable, and it made just over $5,000 in profits. Every other class is either broken even or lost money, where I had to make up for it out of my own bank account because thankfully I have businesses that are financially successful. So I keep the project as financially affordable as possible, but I can't make it free. And so if someone's like, well, I can't afford it. Recently, I think it was you, like someone came to me and was like, hey man, we can use Affirm and create, is it called Affirm?
Affirm, yeah.
We can use Affirm and create a payment plan. I'm like, fuck man, do it. Whatever it takes to get these guys who want and need the project, do it. Do it. Create a payment plan. So if they're not willing to use the Affirm payment plan to afford the project for the 75 hours and the 12 months of coaching that comes with it, like literally in-person coaching, monthly Zoom calls, and then 3 in-person meetings here at HQ with me and the rest of the guys that graduated with them. Like, holy fuck, where's your value system? Because I'll tell you what, they'll go blow fucking that kind of money on new wheels or new fucking shoes or a goofball vacation or add a fucking another thing, fucking bell or whistle to their house to compete with the Joneses, but they don't value the transformation that they're going to get. And if someone's like, man, I can't even afford a fucking payment system, then guess what? Do the self work. Like if you work for someone and you have health benefits, go get a therapist. And then go to bedrostcooling.com/challenge and download my 6-week marathon training program and put yourself through a physical challenge. Like I was my own project. I did 6 weeks of marathon training and then ran a marathon, the San Diego Marathon, 6 weeks of jujitsu, and then got on the mats with the brown belt, 6 weeks of MMA training, and then Aaron Weatherspoon beat the shit out of me in the ring and with MMA, rock climbing, like all these things that were tough and challenging. I compressed all these things that I was not good at. I compressed the time to make it physically challenging, because when you do challenging stuff, hard things, you go to a place in your head where you begin to solve a lot of your problems. All while I was also working with a therapist, Kevin Downing, for 15 months straight. All while I was reading books on personal development, self-development, overcoming trauma, the body keeps the score, ego is the enemy. Like there's so many fucking great things you could do for either free or next to free or under $1,000 to then evolve into the higher self that you need to be. But if you can afford it or want to find a way to afford it, we have the project. If you don't, I even have a free challenge, the fucking marathon challenge for it. It's these motherfuckers who have excuses and don't want the solution but want to cry about it that bitch about it. And for them, I've got no sympathy or compassion.